We're going to end up this show with one of my favorite segments of all time. We call it a take for 99 cents. And what we do here on this show is we give you a very good take that we have on our minds that we get to rant about or just go off about, and we get a response. So, Zay, I'll let you begin first to kick us off. Your take for 99 cents.
Yeah, my take for 99 cents is the New York Knicks will make an NBA Finals this season. It's not fandom. I just think this team is dynamic defensively. They're a team that has 21 games with holding opponents under 100 points. That's something that's unheard of. It doesn't make any sense how they're so great defensively. The team is unhealthy and they're still winning games. They're still taking it to teams. And Jalen Brunson is so dynamic of a player. He's the second greatest point guard in Knicks history. He's been so dynamic as a player, so crazy as a talent. He's probably the best point guard in the East right now. The man is carrying this organization on his damn back and bringing them to where they want to go. It's ridiculous how great of a player he is at this level of stage. Only a second-year starter, and he's so dynamic. The Knicks, I believe, when they bring everyone back and everyone is coming back before the season ends, they will be in the NBA Finals for the Eastern Conference Finals, the Eastern Conference team.
Yeah, that's a really hot take right there. Just a couple of thoughts. When is Julius Randle coming back? I want to know that clearly because I got him on my fantasy team as well, and I'm a Knicks fan as well. So, you got any updates of when Julius Randle is coming back, and do you have any worries that we saw how Julius Randle played off an injury last year and how it affected his timing, right? When you talk about Julius Randle's struggle in the playoffs in that first round and second round, arguably as well, that they lost to the Miami Heat, it was about timing to me. He didn't have his timing. He was hurt. Is there any concern? Clearly, it's not. I don't even know why I'm asking. You said you're going to go to the finals, but I'm just going to go back. Is there any concern, slight concern, that your take will be foiled because of Julius Randle's injury and, how it could affect him in the playoffs?
Well, I think the foil wouldn't be due to Randle. I think OG Anunoby being on that team, he takes away a lot of stuff that assists with the team defensively and offensively. He's somebody you can't just leave alone. You have to have a body on him at all times. And I think Julius Randle, he's a power horse, but we're not going to get a healthy Julius Randle in this playoff. It's not going to happen. The man separated his shoulder in the middle of the season, and he relegated to not get surgery, which he's going to need in the offseason. So we're not going to get 100% Julius Randle, but I don't think Randle foils the plans for the New York Knicks. It's more so OG Anunoby, Mitchell Robinson, making sure the defense and attacking, and Jalen Brunson finds the open man so the guys can get the score. But it's right now, I'm not relying on Julius Randle to be the savior of this team. It's going to be the New York Knicks' ability to muscle teams throughout the playoffs and score off the fast break, score off the tough baskets that they make in the regular season. And I just think teams are not prepared to play with that level of physicality with the Knicks in a 7-game series.
I don't follow NBA as closely as y'all do, but that defense stat impresses me. I know that we don't see that in the NBA anymore these days. And then I will just give a shout out and a question Jalen Brunson's way. Where do you guys, as NBA fans, more diehard NBA fans than me, rank the mistake of separating Brunson and Luka? You think that was a mistake, or do you think that was a good move by the Mavs?
I'll answer that. Losing a talent like Jalen Brunson was a mistake, clearly, because they could have got him for, first of all, he's already underpaid as a Knick for the type of production that he gives us on a nightly basis. But he would have been even more underpaid had they signed him in Dallas. That would have been one of the best contracts in the NBA had they kept him. So when you look at the contract value of when, if they paid him his money when he wanted it, bro, that would have been one of the best contracts in the NBA. And he would have gave them production because him and Luka was forming something. But now, as a Knicks fan, and I'm happy, we are benefiting from the mistake that the Dallas Mavericks made, and it has changed our outlook and where we are as a franchise. Julius Randle got us to the playoffs without him, so we do have to pay homage to Julius Randle and his contributions as a Knick, making us relevant. But Jalen Brunson, which is reminiscent of what Carmelo Anthony did for our franchise, he has done it in this era, and it's the reason why, or one of the reasons why, not all, but it's one of the reasons why Zay's on the mic saying that we're going to make a finals.
That's great to hear. I was a big fan of his when he was in Dallas. I was watching him closely, and then when they made the move on Kyrie, I was like, this is kind of ass backwards, ain't it? You guys had a guy that was young, entering his prime at that position.
Mm-hmm.
That's the crazy part about it. But NFL Mike, I'm gonna leave it with you to give us your take for 99 cent.
Okay, I know you guys probably already talked about it on the show. I was reading over the topics earlier. My take for 99 cents is that the Pittsburgh Steelers just saved Justin Fields' entire career. And my point for that is that I don't think that we're going to see Mike Tomlin try and force Justin Fields to be your prototypical quarterback that they're trying to force in Chicago. We all knew what Justin Fields' strengths and weaknesses were coming into the league. He was a phenomenal runner of the football to a point that he's making NFL defenses look silly as a rookie. Just scrambling, running around in circles. No one can bring this guy down. I've only seen like one or two players be this dominant. I've only seen one have like long-term or I guess medium range success and went to a Super Bowl with this kind of talent as a rusher of the football. Mike Tomlin is going to have Justin sit back behind Russell Wilson right now while they develop their rushing attack. And he is going to eventually launch Fields on the NFL like Cam Newton 2.0. We're going to see Fields carrying the ball 20, 25 times a game when he gets in the lineup for Pittsburgh. And they're going to say, I know you can't throw the ball. We ain't going to make you throw the ball unless someone's wide open down the damn football field. Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to save Justin Fields' career by even giving him one in the first place. It might be a quick 3, 4, 5 year run, but it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. All the pieces are there. The defense is there that Carolina had when Cam Newton went on the run to the Super Bowl. The rushing attack is there when, the two-headed monster in the backfield, when Cam went with Jonathan Stewart and Michael Tolbert. The Steelers are going to mimic that, and they're going to try and run this thing and go to the Super Bowl with Justin Fields eventually, which is going to be tough in the AFC. But I just think that they're going to give Fields a career in the first place. Right now, his career is that of a bust. I'm a huge fan of the guy. I've been watching him since high school. I want to see this man have some success in the NFL.
Yeah, I would like to respond to that because me and Zay was debating that earlier, and there's my take on it. I think from a schematic fit, it makes sense, right? Especially when you talk about the play action, which obviously I call him Arithmetic Smith, even though it's Arthur Smith. I call him Arithmetic Smith because he always thinks he's great at math and he knows what he's doing, but he thinks he's the smartest man in the room. He's not. But they run, this play action. I think when you look at Phil's numbers off of play action, 56 of 90 attempts for 718 yards with 3 touchdowns and 0 picks off the play action alone. So I think schematically it makes sense, and potentially as a succession plan, it would make sense. However, I don't have faith in the Steelers organization. They operate in the 1999 playbook. They are loyal to their players, so I have reason to believe that they're going to be loyal to Russell Wilson because they were loyal to Big Ben, rode him to the nursing home. I think it's going to be the same thing with Russell Wilson if he's okay. Like, mediocre for the Steelers today is enough. And I think if he just is okay, 10-7, barely make the playoffs to keep Mike Tomlin's streak alive, then they're going to discuss a long-term contract with Russell Wilson, and I'm not sure if Fields could see the field. However, if Phil could see the field, literally, then I think it's a great fit.
Yeah, I want to see, like I'm bringing up Cam Newton because it's such a perfect freaking comparison. Remember when Cam Newton on that Panthers team would get inside like the 7-yard line? We all knew that he was just going to catch the ball and run straight through everybody, and he just did it anyways and jumped over people. And of course he got hurt. He got banged up super quick. But I think if there's going to be a break at some point in Russell Wilson, Leel, he's not going to be able to play 2 full seasons straight. I don't think so. And Justin Fields is going to get in there. And like you're saying, he's not good at play action. He's not going to be asked to be good at play action.
I mean, look, bro. He threw no interceptions off the play action, so I think that's a good thing. But I think, that's my take on the Steelers. We talked about it earlier on the show. I'm gonna end off with my take for 99 cent here, and there's a lot of places that I want to go here. I thought about going boxing because, we got a big fight next week. But then I see some reports that scared me off my take that I was going to go down about Keith Thurman and his injury. So I'm going to, a potential injury. Who knows? I'm breaking news. It was spoke to me before. So we'll see about that. I'm going to stay away. I don't want to waste a take here. I'm going to keep it here in the NFL. Off the top, I believe that the Buffalo Bills should trade Stefon Diggs this week. That's my take for 99. And the reason why is because he's not worth it anymore. Don't get me wrong. He was very crucial to the development of Josh Allen. You know, Josh Allen took another leap when Diggs was traded for, gave him that number one wide receiver who can get open, get the ball to him, make him more efficient. He was very inaccurate. Josh Allen was one of the most inaccurate quarterbacks in the whole entire league his rookie year. And he took another leap that saw him almost win an MVP, that saw him almost get to a Super Bowl. And that was a lot of Stefon Diggs and the impact that Stefon Diggs made, which translated to the evolution of the quarterback we know today, known as Josh Allen. However, it's not worth it no more. You know, it's not worth the headaches. It's not worth the off-season theatrics, you know, of, oh, is he all in for the team? Is he happy? It's not worth it anymore. It's not worth the drops in the playoffs, like the 64-yard bomb. Had he caught it, they probably would have went to a Super Bowl. Not Super Bowl, but it probably would have went to the AFC Championship game. Okay, it's not worth the, oh, I'm ghosting the team after a playoff loss. It's not worth it anymore. Okay, when the Chiefs traded Tyreek Hill, they laid the blueprint for the Bills to copy. When they traded Tyreek Hill, they built a championship level defense off the assets they got from Tyreek Hill. Less was more. And that defense was the main reason why they won the Super Bowl last year. The Bills need to copy that blueprint that the Chiefs gave to the league, which is, okay, yes, we could use the wide receiver early on, but now we don't need him no more. We could trade him for more assets so we could build our defense. If you peep the free agency moves, the Bills let a lot of defenders go. You know, Tre'Davious White gone. They literally are rebuilding that side of the ball. And when you look at their wide receivers, if Stefon Diggs was to depart, it's not really that bad. Curtis Samuel, I still believe in that guy. I think he's a really good wide receiver if he can stay healthy. You know, Mac Hollins, keep an eye out for that name. That guy's a big play threat. I think he works perfect with a guy like Josh Allen who wants to get the ball down the field. Okay, you also got Khalil Shakir, who was good in the slot as well. To be honest with you, and this is where you may disagree with me, NFL Mike. We talked about Justin Fields and losing weapons, but I think right now, without Diggs, without Keenan, I think the Bills are actually more. I like their weapons a little bit more than I do the Chargers' weapons right now. You need to trade Stefon Diggs this week, and that's my take for 99 cents.
You know what's crazy is it's a hot take, but I completely agree with you. I think that they should trade Stefon Diggs this offseason. I mean, this week before the draft, they should trade him because I think that half the league is going to call him and tell him that we'll give you our first round pick and a couple other of high picks for him. So his value is going to tank as he enters his 30s. You're not going to get an offer like you will right now for Stefon Diggs at this current point in time next offseason, I don't think. And then going forward either. I also think that a lot of people don't realize that Buffalo has a phenom at tight end. Like, it's second Stefon Diggs is off this team. I think they have a 1,200 yard. They have a 1,200 yard tight end right there, ready to go.
Kincaid. Yeah, that's another thing. That's another thing real quickly, NFL Mike, is that remember last year, I forgot to add this to my tape. I'm glad that we keeping it alive because I totally botched this point. That's really my home run point. Last year, right, in the first half of the year, Diggs was going off with his numbers, but the Bills were 5-5. Then he didn't have a 100-yard game for like the last back end of the season, and they were winning games. Yes, he was used as a decoy. Don't get me wrong. I understand his impact on the field as well, even when it's not on the stat sheet. But he didn't have to have a big game. They were winning games because they were running the football, right? If they won that playoff game against the Chiefs, it would have been because my dude James Cook was cooking. He was having a good game. When you consider the two tight end sets that they have, you know, with Knox, I believe Knox is coming back, and Kincaid, they don't need Diggs. Less is more. They should trade Diggs this week or on draft night.
Yeah, and I think that James Cook has as much upside as his brother, if not more. I think he's as talented. I think he's even more explosive than Dalvin Cook was at his most explosive points. And like I was saying about Kincaid, I truly believe that this is a Hall of Fame pairing between Allen and Kincaid. We just don't know it yet.
I think real quick, just to chime in. Like I said, I think they commit a first round pick with Stefon Diggs, but where else better to go than back to his old coach, the damn Giants? Go back with Dable. Go work with
What
Diggs.
what about his old coach in Dallas now? Mike Zimmer's their defensive coordinator.
I don't think the Cowboys have been very vocal on what's too expensive, what's not too expensive. I've been seeing all through Twitter that they didn't want to go after a lot of different guys because it was too expensive, quote unquote. So I don't know if they go after Diggs if they're not even sure if they're keeping Dak at quarterback. So I don't know what the hell the Cowboys are doing. They should, in theory, yes, bring in a Stefon Diggs to work with a CD Lamb. That's a dynamic receiving core, but will they? I don't know. Jerry Jones has been playing a whole different game, especially with the mind games with his own offensive line. That's very unlike Jerry Jones. He's getting senile.
Yeah, they've been sleeping during the free agency market. But I like the Giants for the lot. I think the Giants make sense. They definitely need wide receivers. I mean, Darius Slayton is not going to get the job done as a number one, with all due respect.
That's a good fit too, because that's a team that's probably looking at the future and saying, yeah, we're trapped with Daniel Jones right now, but we're trying to get out of this. And if we get a positive wide receiver situation from what it is, which is a negative wide receiver situation, maybe we can either be a player and bringing in a veteran that becomes available, or, Daniel Jones gets us up in the draft, which is probably what's going to happen.
All right, NFL Mike, we are going to close here on this show. I'm going to leave it with you to plug yourself in. How can my listeners view you and your work that you're putting out right now?
Yeah, I appreciate everyone for tuning in, man. I am on at NFL Mike on all platforms, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, everything in between. I post short form videos. I like to call myself an NFL historian. Try and bring up interesting facts, interesting stats, interesting stories, interesting whatever. Sometimes I clickbait like RG3 if you're into some shocking clickbait as well. But what I'm really trying to push on is what you guys are doing. I'm trying to get back on YouTube. I've had some minimal success in my few videos that I've been uploading lately. Trying to make long form content again. And this off season, I'm going on a tour. So I'm going on as many podcasts as I can this off season. One every other day is my goal, and I'm going to post clips on my channel, and I'm calling it the Free Agent Podcast Tour. And then at the end of it, I'm going to launch my own podcast eventually. So if you guys want to see a variety of hosts, I'm planning on going 30 to 35. I've already got 10 booked podcasts this offseason. I'm going to be uploading those clips.
I mean, when you said free agency, I'm like, oh, you trying to sign with a podcast? Because you could join us. I mean, I'm about to do my recruiting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Get my LeBron
it's a little
James
bit of that too. It's a little bit of that too, but I'm not going to make a move until the season starts.
Got you. All right, NFL Mike, man. Hope to see you around soon. And
I appreciate you,
Kenny.
Shout out, man.
Salute to my guy, Kenny. And salute to all those who, tapped into the show. We'll be back next week.